Hey guys, and welcome back to our first video of 2019. And I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the LG G7 ThinQ. Wait, hang on. This isn't new. Why are we looking at this? Well, it's been out for a little while and it is a top spec phone even now, with a higher grade glass on the front, two 16 megapixel cameras on the back, ultra wide screen mode as well, extremely shiny as you can tell, and we'll get into that a bit later on. It comes with 64 gigs of RAM on board, upgradable to 128 gig via micro SD, 4 gig of RAM for your apps, or 6 gigabytes of RAM if you went for the 128 gig version. It comes with a 3000 mAh battery, which for me at least lasts about a day. So the CPU in the LG G7 ThinQ is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845. It has 4 cores at 2.8 gigs, a Cryo 385. Again, that's a quad core and that runs at 1.8 gigs. And an Adreno 630 GPU. And I can tell you firsthand, the games on it are pretty damn good. So on to the real reason for this video. As you can tell, it's very, very shiny. And one of the problems with shiny phones is they do scratch very, very easily. And I've only had mine probably 4 months, something like that. And they pick up scratches very, very easily, as I've just said. Oddly, the front screen doesn't pick up any. So I guess the Gorilla Glass, I think it's grade 5. Is pretty damn good. It's just a shame they didn't make the rest of the case out of the same type of thing. So you want to protect it from drops. So I was looking around for cases for this thing for quite some time because I don't really want to drop this thing. It's blimmin' expensive and I don't want to crack it. I want to keep this thing and I want to be able to push it away, shift it on when I'm done. So we went to Amazon and I found a case that caught my eye. Now, it looks smaller in the picture. It's called loveMei and it's a steel case. Yeah, that's right. It's a steel case. And, well, let's just take a look. I wanna see the light. And here it is. It's a beast of a case. And if I put that up against the G7 ThinQ, you can kind of see the difference in size. So the loveMei case has built-in Gorilla Glass, which I love. It gives an extra layer of protection and it doesn't seem to affect the touchscreen on the phone whatsoever. I've noticed no issues with that at all, and I've been using it for a couple of weeks now. It is very, very solid. It looks like some sort of steel, and it comes in 3 parts, and most of it is actually rubber. Pretty much the whole of the case is protected by a rubber border around the outside, as you can see along here. You get access to your normal buttons that you would on your G7 ThinQ, and there's no issues pushing at all. I don't have to push any harder. It's the same as if you were just literally touching the phone buttons. You've got access to the charging port here by pulling out a little rubber tab there, and you can plug your charger in the bottom. And you've also got access to the headphone jack, which this phone still has, and I love it, by the way. I love the headphone jack. We'll get into some issues with the headphone jack that I've already discovered a little bit later on. On the back of the phone, it's half rubber and half metal, and obviously you've got the cutouts for the two cameras, the fingerprint reader on the back, and the flash and the sensor for taking the pictures. So with the loveMei case, you get a strap which you can attach here. I am not going to attach that because I think that will make it even bigger. Since this is a steel case and made to protect your phone from drops, I haven't drop tested it, and I'm not likely to drop test it because, you know, I've only got one phone and I don't want to break it and don't want to tempt fate. But I'm pretty sure it would survive in this phone given the rubber edge that I've already described. And I'll show you the inside and you'll see the extra support it's got on the inside as well. There's no movement on the inside of this whatsoever. So to open this 3-part case up, you literally have to screw the damn thing in. You've got tiny little screws, which they give you the tool for. Don't know if the camera can pick that up very well. It takes 6 screws on the back, and they have a kind of hex head on them. I'm not sure the number on those, I'm not very familiar with that. But it doesn't matter because one, they give you a tool. In fact, they give you 2 tools. You get a loveMei screwdriver bit there, and you also get a Allen key as well. And I prefer using the Allen key actually, just to initially loosen the screws and to tighten them up at the end. And I use that to actually twist them in to screw them up. You also get 4 extra screws in case you lose any, because you know, they are really small and you're likely to lose one. I nearly lost one when I first put the phone in. So let's have a look at putting the phone inside the case. So we've taken the front and the back metal plates off to show you what's actually inside. And you've got a kind of honeycomb bit at the bottom here, and this is all rubber. This bit here where your camera lens goes, that can pull out. I guess they use the same chassis for different types of phones, which kind of makes sense. So your phone would literally just slot in there. It tucks neatly into the space provided, and as I said before, there is little to no movement in there, which is great because you don't want it to move around when you're doing whatever you do with your phone, or it drops. Any kind of movement could cause extra vibration, which could end up cracking the screen. You do also get wipes with this, and I would suggest you thoroughly clean your hands and wipe the phone, both sides of the phone and the case and the screen on the steel cases there. Make sure just wipe everything down before you put it in, because obviously once you put it in, you've got 6 screws to undo every time you want to give it a clean or you get a bit of dust in. Give it a clean with the supplied wipes and you're good to go. So to reassemble it, it's very simple. You simply make sure you've cleaned the screen, as I've already said. Put the top cover on the top of the phone. Make sure it's the right way up. Flip it over. Put the bottom cover on the back side of the phone. And literally put these screws in and tighten them up with the supplied screwdriver or Allen key. And that's it. Your phone is protected in a super solid case for around 21 UK pounds. I mean, that is an amazing case for that price. You can't get a better case. So once you've screwed the screws on, your case is secure in the knowledge that if you drop it, it ain't gonna break, or at least the phone isn't gonna break, which is the most important thing. And I'll put a link in the description down below of where you can get that in the UK and US as well. I'll put a link down there. They are affiliate links, and some of the profit from that does go to the channel to help us out. As we move on to the bad points about the case, there are only a couple, and the first one is, as you can already see, it's freaking huge. This thing struggles to fit in a pocket. I mean, if you put it in your pocket, people are going to wonder what the hell you're doing. The other is moving on to the headphone jack that I love so much. It's great. The headphone jack is great on the phone. It's something that the headphone jack is going to go. Eventually, manufacturers will stop putting headphone jacks on phones. It's the way it's going. You're just going to have to get used to it, and so am I, unfortunately. But for now, I'm loving the headphone jack. The problem with the case is that depending on the type of headphones you're using and the type of fitment on the 3.5mm jack on your cable that you're plugging in, or the headphones, the hole here is extremely small, and I don't have Bluetooth in my car currently, and I plug in my 3.5 jack into my radio and it won't, well, I used to plug it in. I can't plug it in because quite simply the headphone jack is too big. Now you can get smaller 3.5mm cables, which is what I'm going to have to do, and hopefully I'm waiting for one of those to turn up that will fit in, and then I can listen to Spotify or whatever in my car. But that would have been better if it was a bit bigger, or if I could just push into it and create a seal around it, you know. That is really it. There are only those two issues with this case. It is an amazing case for the money, and I would recommend you get one if you've got, whether you've got an LG G7 ThinQ, whatever. They do them for other phones. If you go direct to the website, you can see loads of phones that they support, even the S9. I don't know about iPhones, possibly iPhones. Have a look at the website down below and, you know, have a look for yourself. But for £21, those two things that I've just mentioned, they're nothing really to worry about. There are other ways around those things. But it's going to protect my phone for the next 2 years or whatever I've got left on the contract for this thing. And I will be able to push this thing to someone else at the end of it without any worries of having scratches on the screen or cracks or anything like that from general use. So for that reason alone, 20 quid to protect your phone is excellent, and I recommend this case to everyone. So we give this case a 9 out of 10. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you like what we do, and comment down below with your comments about this case, or if you want to know more about it. Check out the links below of how you can support us as well. We're on Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good things. Streamlabs, you can support us if you want to donate to us. Obviously Patreon, you can do that as well. And we have a merch store. Check out the bottom link. Anyway guys, what do you think about the new lights? Does this look better? We've got some new lights, and this is the first video where I've actually used the lights, and I'm kind of blinded right now because they're so blimmin' bright. But hopefully the picture looks better and the quality is much better for you guys, which is the most important thing to us. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.